Blah, blah, blah. Whatever you say.
Welcome. And today we'll dive into a couple of great malicious compliance stories and their reactions. Coming up we have Violate written safety procedures so we don't lose $24 million. Nope. Plus we have Need me to adhere to the dress code right now? Enjoy the fallout. I just know you're gonna love these stories, so this should be a fun session. Hi, this is Derek. I just put the Drama Llama, Fred, back in his pen so that I can do this quick video for you with some of the stuff that Fred found on Reddit earlier today. If this is your first time watching our videos, help me out by watching to the end, and then giving me some feedback in the comment area below. I do respond to every single one, so don't be shy. And if you want more of these videos daily, don't forget to like and subscribe, with notifications turned on for this channel. Oh boy, let's get ready for some malicious stories. WireNut posted. Violate written safety procedures so we don't lose $24 million. Nope. This happened about 15 years ago at a large manufacturing plant, at which I was one of 120 industrial electricians. And this happened in the department in which I was primarily responsible. These jobs pay upwards of $30 per hour, and I was making $34 per hour at the time. This was my career for decades before I retired last year. I now get a pension from them and fully paid healthcare. This wasn't just a run-of-the-mill job. This was something to take very, very seriously. Too lazy didn't read Violate our own written safety rules. Nope, unless in writing. No writing, just do it. Poop hits fan, I still want writing. They find out I'm serious, and am willing to let them lose $24 million. Writing provided. Our safety administrator retired, so a new guy started. And decided to audit all of the lockout-tagout procedures Loto everywhere in the facility. This place employed 4,000 people and was over 1.5 million square feet, so it was a massive undertaking. Many of the machines in my department were large, multi-station transfer machines, where the part goes into several drilling, milling, tapping and boring operations, and are transferred to the next station in turn between operations. Basically, the operator loads a raw part into it, and once it comes back around to him or her, it's finished. The cycle time for this machine was about 1 minute, and was a key part in expensive final products, costing upwards of $50,000 each. It was made clear to me that the company lost $50,000 for every minute the machine was idle. As a way of instilling urgency, as if I needed it. As I said, these machines had multiple stations that each had its own specialized operation to accomplish, all automatically. This, of course, involved many switches, buttons, computers, motors, and encoders drives, all of which are used in industrial automation and sequencing. Usually, when an electrical part broke on a particular station, I would shut down the electrical power for that one station to perform my repairs and replacements. All was good, and I could usually perform just about any repair within 15 minutes or less. The management people usually didn't even know anything unusual happened, as the operators were on piecework and would often skip a break to make up the shortfall, until the new Loto procedures were released for those machines. The new procedure required anyone performing repairs to Loto every station, for every kind of energy potential. This includes electrical, pneumatic, hydraulic, and gravity. Since this was a union facility, this required the services of an electrician, a plumber, a mechanic, and a millwright. It also required something like 38 individual locks to be applied by the aforementioned skilled tradespersons. It also required about 4 to 8 hours of work to complete this task. Keep in mind these were huge machines that would take up an area the size of a gymnasium, and cost tens of millions of dollars to buy. When I saw the new Loto procedure, I grabbed my boss and the production supervisor and showed it to them and explained, in detail, why this was ridiculous, unnecessary, and unworkable. My boss got the safety administrator, and we all had a conference, and I was told, basically, that's the way it is. The very next day a type of switch called a proximity switch failed on one of these machines. Normally, a 5 to 10 minute repair. Cue malicious compliance. I dutifully informed the production supervisor that he lost his machine for the rest of the shift, and half the following shift. He chuckled and said, "Yeah, sure." I said, "Dude, I'm dead serious." I got my boss, told him I needed 38 Loto locks, a plumber, a mechanic, and a millwright. He looked at me like I had 3 heads. Remember the conversation we had yesterday? It just got real. Show me why you need 38 locks. Okay, and I brought him to the machine. Pulled the 10-page illustrated, notated, laminated, Lodo procedure off the machine, and counted where each and every lock needs to go. 38. And I need the other tradesmen here as well. I figure the machine will be rendered safe by the end of the shift. Matt can do the repair, and another 4 hours to remove the locks, and set the machine up to be ready to run by their lunchtime. Also, keep in mind that there will be cribbing to make the gravity potential safe, and most locks need a special kind of hardware to apply to valves and other devices to be able to function correctly. Just fix it the way you usually fix it, my boss told me. Put it in writing, I said. Just fix the damn thing, was his unhelpful reply. I think you need to give it to me in writing, or you need to get my union rep here. Those are your two choices. I'm not gonna get fired over this. About this time, several men in suits and ties showed up to find out what the problem is, called into action by the production supervisor I previously mentioned. He and I had a great working relationship, and he knew what was going down. So he started making phone calls when I let him know his machine was broken. To make a long story short, an hour-long meeting was held which included my union rep, after which I was provided written permission to make the repairs as I always had. The new safety administrator had been properly scolded and learned a lesson. Management learned to just let Wiry Nut do his job. And the machine was running 10 minutes after I received the paper. That was a loss of $3.5 million according to their math. It would have been $24 million lost if I had to follow their procedures to the letter. All new procedures were put in place with much input from my colleagues and me. This was a test case for how the other 500 skilled tradespeople were going to be proceeding with the new safety guy, as they had also been provided with new, ridiculous Lodo procedures. It just turned out that I was the first to have to implement them. Edit. I wrote this as a kind of catharsis, as I recalled this yesterday. I just started writing a journal of sorts for myself, and when I was done, it struck me it would fit in well in this sub. So I cleaned it up, removed specifics, and copy-pasta edit. I had no clue it would go supernova. I'm glad it struck a chord, surprised at the similarity of others' experience. And glad people not involved in manufacturing got a glimpse of what it's about. And thank you so much for the awards. I'm so glad I decided to post it. You guys are awesome. What are your thoughts on this awesome story? Please share in the comments below. Now here's how some Reddit members reacted to this story. Test 12,340,985 reacted with: have sat in multiple meetings that finished with my lead slapping his knee and saying we look forward to getting this all in writing and will promptly start the work. The writing never comes. Funny how that works. Talk is cheap. Sagacious Elon reacted with: bureaucracy gone mad is a bit of a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. New hires often seem to have the urge to justify their existence and validate the decision to hire them by immediately messing with things that have been working fine for years. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. What a bunch of great reactions. Now on to the next story posted by Free84. Titled, need me to adhere to the dress code right now? Enjoy the fallout. I was reminded of this story from my work by one of my coworkers. It's been maybe 5 to 7 years since this happened. Where I work there is a semi-strict dress code that needs to be adhered to, so we look presentable when going to customers' houses. The minor details are more or less negotiable depending on who's our manager that day. We have a normal manager we see almost daily, but if he's off or it's a weekend, someone else subs in. The day this happened was a Saturday and our regular manager was off. So the duty manager for the day happened to be Mr. Hardass, whom no one liked. And he made it his life goal to make all the techs miserable. When we walked in the door, we had to pass through the manager's office to get to our meeting area. My coworker Tim, name changed, walked in the door. That was to the manager's office with everything looking right on his uniform, but his shirt untucked. The following conversation took place. Mr. Hardass, your shirt should be tucked in. Tim, absolutely, and I will do that when I set my gear down and go to the bathroom. Mr. Hardass, no, you need to show up for work ready to work. Not show up and get ready on my time. Tim, okay, let me set my stuff down and I'll go right to the bathroom and tuck it in for you. Mr. Hardass, no. You're going to tuck it in right now. Before you walk another step into my building. Tim, right now? Mr. Hardass, right now. So, my coworker did as instructed. Unbuttoned his pants and pulled them all the way down to his ankles. And proceeded to smooth out his shirt and then reach all the way down. And pull his pants all the way back up and rebutton them. From there he immediately walked outside and called the HR hotline. And told them his manager on duty just forced him to undo his pants. And semi-strip in front of him in his personal office. And wouldn't allow him to go to the bathroom to tuck his shirt in. That he felt weird and uncomfortable to be around Mr. Hardbutt. And didn't know if he had any ulterior motives. None of us are privy to what exactly happened from that phone call on. But we do know that he got laterally moved from being a tech manager to the safety team. Where he was no longer in charge of any subordinates. I'll make an edit to iron out some details or important things I forgot. Our job is very much union-based, and as such the union book is the law of the land. So language and actions have to be very specific. As to not draw ire from the union nor the business. Tim was raised in a union household by someone who was very involved in their union. So he has a very keen knowledge on how to manipulate things well. Within the trappings of the union handbook. He did this whole thing not next to the boss's desk. But within line of sight of the door coming in and the door to the meeting room. So there were visual witnesses from the meeting room. And people who trickled into work behind him who literally walked through the entire ordeal. So, there were plenty of witnesses to corroborate. What are your thoughts on this awesome story? Please share in the comments below. Now here's how some Reddit members reacted to this story. LSCRX reacted with, I had a manager do something like that. Except it was because I had a little stubble on my face, my facial hair grows really fast. And he demanded that I take a disposable razor to the bathroom. And shave before leaving the office. I didn't look like a hobo, I just have dark facial hair that never really looks clean shaven. I clarified that he wanted me to go in the bathroom. That had no hot water, at all, with no shaving cream, and shave with a disposable razor. He confirmed that this was what he wanted, and I told him that wasn't going to happen. I wasn't going to slice my face up because he was having a bad day. He backed down, he was normally pretty chill. So I chalked it up to him being on the warpath for something unrelated to my face. Had a friend in middle school that had to shave his face. Turns out his dad would do it for him because the kid was nervous about using a razor. Kid ended up slicing his face with a disposable in a few places. The teacher was suspended. Was a private school. If you had facial hair it had to be shaved or waxed for males. This was 20 years ago. And finally, Merms reacted with, why the F would he have to shave in middle school for school? I meant as a requirement, guys. Not why would he be hairy in middle school? Lol. Well, there you have it. A perfectly great set of reactions from a bunch of upstanding citizens. Help support this channel by smashing the like and subscribe buttons. And hit that silly little bell as well to ensure you get the latest videos as they come out. Fred is always finding stuff for me to post regularly. So this is Derek signing off, thanks for watching. Good grief, it sounds like Fred is out of his pen again. He must have found more stories for me to share with you. See you soon.